Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am up early. How's everyone doing? Waiting for a few people to come in. I won't be here for you, before you long. Just wanted to say good morning and just give you an encouraging message. I love how the sun is making me glow this morning. Hey, Kiosha. How are you doing, dear? I know happy Monday. Look, the weather down here in Florida is getting a little nippy. And you know us born and raised and born and bred Floridians, any little sign of cold weather, we act as if we're going to just pass out. Good morning, Dolores. Listen, well, let me speak for myself. I'll just speak for myself. For me, any little wind of cold air, it's like, oh my goodness, it's cold. Can you all hear me well? I have this little Bluetooth in. And my little Bluetooth is on his last leg, but I'm trying to hold on to it. I don't want to buy another one. I have another one, but I like this one for some reason. I don't drop it so many times. Hey, Keisha. Good morning, dear. I know. Listen, I've been a little busy. I'm going to start coming back as often as I could to deliver some messages. And I be having all type of messages, just downloads, but it just be sometimes so hard to get on, especially with my 12-year-old. That boy, he keeps me busy. There's always something. And then when he's not here with me, I be trying to get stuff done. Trying to get things done. He's something else, though. He is something else. So you all come on in. I just got a message. I just woke up. You know what? It's pretty nice out. I'm gonna get up. I got up this morning. I said, let me go. I dropped my son off to school. And I said, let me get up and I'm gonna go walking today. Go exercise. I'm trying to maintain my little weight here and trying to take care of myself. The older you get, the more you try to, stay energetic and perky and stuff. I know for me, I have to stay energetic. With a 12-year-old son, I don't think I need to say anything else. With a 12-year-old son, and this is a young a boy that he's outgoing. He's outgoing. He's very I'm about 3 hours away from Orlando, Dolores. I don't want to say on live here, because you got a bunch of widows that pop in and out of here. But I'm about 3 hours away. If I was just in Orlando a couple of weeks ago, oh no, last month. Was that last month? I think last month. Yeah. But yeah, with the 12-year-old, this one here, he keeps me busy. Like, this is the son that I thought I was done. You have, when you say you're done and God says, oh, no, you're not. This is my son. I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm done having kids. I'm done having children. I don't want any more. I had said, I just want 3 and I'm done. And he pop on up in there like, hello, I'm here. And he made his statement. He made his entrance, and he's been making his statement ever since. Look, he keeps me on my knees. Keeps me praying, sitting on side of my bed. I sit on side of my bed on the floor. I sit on side of my bed on the floor and pray. I slide on down every time with this little boy. with this little boy because I like sitting on the floor and I like my back to be, I like something in my back to have a, support. But anyways, it's enough about me. But listen, I came to encourage you all. Don't give up. Don't give up. You hear me? I don't care what you have going on. I don't care where you have to move to, what job you have to change, who you have to let go, who let go of you. I don't care. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your purpose. Don't give up on what God is calling you to do. Do not give up, regardless of what it's looking like. And another thing, don't let your emotions get the best of you. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. Don't let your emotions dictate your happiness. Don't let your emotions dictate, decisions you need to make to better your future. You know what I mean? Don't let your emotions dictate, right? Look, I take the glasses off. May have to put them back on because the glare is so bright. Y'all get to see me with my morning face this morning. But it's me, right? Don't let the cares and the worries of this world stop you and force you to give up. Don't do it. Don't do it. I know it's easy. You're talking to someone who used to run from any inkling of confrontation, any inkling of fear, any inkling of hardships or any. You're talking to somebody who used to just take off running, just run from all of that, run from anything that's hard. I used to just say, I don't have time for this. And I realized when I used to run from the things that were hard, right? When I used to run from those things, I was running from the process. I was running from what God wanted to do in me. I was. Yep. I was. Oh, yes. Oh, I understand, D. Listen. I can understand, dear. There's no judgment here. But we have to learn to go through those hard seasons and lessons so we can develop the what is that thing called? The muscle. Develop the muscle to stand firm. I used to run from comfort. I didn't like confrontation. I was one of them ones that didn't like confrontation. And I think it's ironic that the very thing that I ran from, that I avoided, God forced me, he pushed my hand to be that person. And not in a rude way. Confrontation is anything that where you have to address any issue. We make confrontation seem like it's bad. We make it seem like a bad thing. No, confrontation is a good thing. It's a good thing. That means you're addressing the issue. But I used to run from I used to run from issues and problems and people. And if I didn't like something, or if somebody was doing me a certain way, I wouldn't confront them about it. I would just sit and assume and hoping and pray that they see they mistreated me or doing something to me I don't like. I never said, you know what, I don't like that. Don't speak to me that way. I never spoke up for myself. And God did a whole 360. I know you gonna say something. He tell me you gonna say something. You don't have to be nasty, but you are going to say something. Yes, he did. Made me confrontational. Disconnect my Bluetooth. I think my car Bluetooth was on. I don't know if this one was on, but can you all hear me? Made me confrontational, which just made me address issues. Don't sit and ignore issues. That's all. Because, sometimes we like to ignore issues, hoping they'll go away. And they're not going to go away. They're not going to go away. They're not going to go away. The only way they're going to go away if you confront them, if you address them, you shed light on it. But I want to come tell you, I don't give up. Don't give up. You keep doing the work on you. Whatever that looks like. Whatever you have to do to keep doing the work on you so you could become a better person. And it's not easy. I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy. Because when you start doing the work on you, you start losing people. People don't want to be around you anymore. People seem like they hate you. They seem like now you think you better than them. It's all these little projections that they put on you when you're just trying to become better. Think it not strange that when you was out broke, busted, and disgusted, you were doing things that wasn't really pleasing to God, really wasn't pleasing to you. But you just did them because you just felt comfortable. Think it not strange that now you start doing what's right. You start doing the right thing and you start working on you. Now people don't want to be around you. Now they don't want to deal with you. They don't want to invite you now. You forgotten about. You don't get an invitation. And that's okay. We got to stop taking this stuff personal. I used to take it personal. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I used to take that stuff personal because I didn't understand who I was. I didn't know who I was. And I used to take everything personal. I did. Tell the truth, shame the devil. I did. I used to take that stuff personal. Now I don't take it personal. Because now I understand why. You got to get into the business of understanding people. Now I understand why people operate the way they do. Once you learn that the average person don't know who they are and they don't understand themselves, how are you going to expect them to understand you? If they don't know what they like, they don't know who they are. They move to and fro and morph and become who people want them to be instead of being themselves. So if they can't stand firm and true to themselves, you think they're going to be firm and true to you? Think about it. Think about it. If they're not honest with themselves, they're not going to be honest with you. No, ma'am, they're not. If they don't love themselves, they're not going to love you. If they don't love themselves. If they don't have a standard for themselves, they're not going to have a standard for you. And unfortunately, the average person is not working on themselves to become a better version of themselves. So therefore, your world is going to be lonely. Your road is going to be lonely. You're going to feel like everybody just having fun without you. Just like my girl Latoya Kia said, a dry phone is a peaceful phone, a peaceful life. When your phone is dry, you don't have people calling you and texting you. That's peace, baby. That's peace. That means you are elevating. You're going to the next level. And see, that's what people be afraid of. People be afraid of being lonely for a season. I used to be afraid. I didn't want to not be around people. I didn't want to not go around to the family functions and, be included. I didn't want to miss out. I'll be honest. Nope, I didn't want to. So I never worked on myself because I didn't want to miss out. I didn't want people to say I thought I was better or I think I'm acting funny. I didn't want all of that. That was too much for me. But then I realized that's what it takes. That is what it takes to develop yourself. You're going to have to be excluded. You're going to have to get yourself together. It takes that. It does. Look, my hair grow back so quick. I need to go get them retwisted. My hair is growing so fast. Look, so fast. It's going to take you being by yourself because you can't bring everybody on the journey with you. That's something I used to do. I used to be trying to get everybody on the journey, bring them with me, take them to my events and take them to where, I think God was directing me to go, inviting folks. No, he was like, no, you go by yourself. Because I had that I wasn't delivered from that codependency. A lot of us have that codependency, spirit. We feel like we need somebody else. That's why some of you all can't go out to a restaurant by yourself. You can't go to a movies by yourself because you feel like you got to have someone to go with you. And it's okay, Dolores, for a season, dear. You're not going to see. We got to understand that everything happens in seasons. And the longer we postpone our process, we're going to have to go through those seasons later on in life. Because regardless, you're going to go through that season. So you might as well get it over with now so you can enjoy the rest, the latter days. Because you don't want to be in your latter days doing what God told you to do. Because whether you want to or not, God gonna get you. He gonna fulfill his purpose. I don't care what you can run and hide. He gonna get you. That's why some of you all are older now and you feel like so much is happening. And it's not that so much is happening, it's that you avoided the process. You avoided the process, right? And so you got to go through it right now. That's all. You avoided it while you were younger because you were trying to people please. And now that you're older, God still wants you to do what he called you to do. I don't know why I'm getting on that. I didn't come to talk about that. I just came to encourage you all to don't give up. That's all. I came to encourage you all not to give up, but somebody needs to hear that. You still going to have to do what you need to do. Just like Sarah and Abraham up in their 90s having children. And she like, yeah, right, whatever. And she had that baby too, didn't it? She got pregnant. So you can run all you want to. It's best to go through the pain now. Do what God tell you to do now. So in your latter years, you don't have to go through that. Because you don't want to be alone in your latter years trying to get through the process. But that's what we do. We avoid not wanting to be alone. I did it for years. You're welcome, Keosha. I did it for years. I didn't want to be alone. Because I had this because I grew up in the house. We were deep. My grandmother raised a lot of her grands. We were deep in the house. Not only did she raise her children, she raised her grands and some of her great-grands. So when I was younger, on my mom's side, there was always somebody in the house. So you grow up with that kind of needing somebody, or you just get used to people being there. So that's how I grew up, with a lot of cousins, and there was always somebody around. and you develop that there's this notion that you need somebody. And you do. You need people. You can't live in this world without folks. Because some people get this mentality, I don't need anybody. No, that's a form of pride. That's pride. You need people. God put us here to commune with each other. To be the hand and feet to help each other. To be the hands and feet. I remember a couple of months ago, I needed somebody, I needed, some help because I was transitioning in my life and I needed some help. And I know I couldn't call my family for this type of help that I needed. I couldn't call my family. I didn't know anybody in my family that'll give me the assistance that I need without them talking about me, without them saying something negative, right? Because you don't be wanting to hear all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you're not a person that asks people for things. When you get to a point where you need someone, because that's why I never would adopt this mindset where I don't need people. Right? I never would get that mindset because you need people. But I needed help. And this wasn't this financial help because I thought I would be able to use my credit card. I had a credit card, which I'm paying off. I had to get rid of that. Okay. But I had a credit card. I thought I would be able to use the credit card to do what I needed to do. But for what I needed to do, they said, you can't use no credit card. Because I have good credit and I had that, card, for emergencies, right? And I was like, Lord, I don't know who to call for this type of help. And the Lord said, ask this person. And when I tell you, there wasn't no small change that I needed, okay? I'm being transparent with you all. I don't know why I'm saying this. Usually I don't just talk about my business. I don't talk about personal things. Y'all know that I don't talk about anything personal as far as this, right? But this is for somebody. And I'm like, Lord, I don't know who to call. I mean, I ran down my list in my head. It was one person I thought I could call. It was a cousin. This on my dad's side. But he was going through his own thing. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to put that burden, because I'm considerate. I don't want to put that burden or just, ask him for something. Right? I didn't want to do it. And the Lord said, ask this person. It was a good acquaintance of mine. Ask this person right here. I called this person, told them what I needed. That person didn't hesitate. Didn't blink an eye. Didn't blink an eye. And I was like, I know God sent me to this person. Didn't blink an eye. I mean, lady didn't even hesitate. Okay. And I'm like, look at God. But that is why we need people. I don't come on here talking to you to be a lone ranger, because you need folks. You need a tribe, especially in these times that are about to come up. You're going to need people who you can trust, that got good intentions. Pray that God send you good-hearted people, not perfect people, because people are going to do things. They're going to believe things. They're going to say things that you're not going to like. But if you know that heart is pure, you can rely on those people. If you know their intentions are well, they mean good. Yes, pray for those people. And God has always, one thing about me, I can honestly say, and this is not being boastful, this is not bragging, this is not being prideful. Throughout my entire life, although I went through some challenges, God always sent people in my life. They call them destiny helpers. I call them angels. He always sent people in my life to get me to where I needed to be. It was like a handoff. It's almost like a handoff. And these are seasonal people. And this is what I had to learn this. Because when you're codependent and when you have that spirit of codependency, you want to keep people around forever. You want to keep these good people, like this lady who God sent in my life. I want to keep her around. I want her to be in my life forever. But these people are seasonal. And it's not that you hate them. It's not that they hate you. They're just passing through. They're just in your life for a season. And me, I be wanting to hold on to people. I be wanting to hold on to people from kindergarten. My friends, I be wanting to hold on to folks forever. But I had to be delivered from that. I had to be delivered from that spirit. God even told me my children are seasonal. I'm seasonal to my children. And that's the hard pill to swallow. You hear me? That's a hard pill to swallow, because when he showed me that my children were seasonal, I'm about to tear up. Jesus, I didn't want to tear up, but it's a word. When he showed me my children were seasonal, he showed me my children were seasonal, which means that I don't know the day. I don't know the hour. They don't know the day and nor the hour that I will leave here. When he showed me my children were seasonal, you know, that did something to me. Because I love my babies. He told me my children were seasonal. I'm like, wow. Look, that broke me down. That broke me down. I'm like, Lord, you're right. I'm like, I'm going to be seasoned in my baby's life. They're seasoned in my life. It is, Jacqueline, girl. Listen. See, but we don't want to think about these realities, right? And that's why we be so hurt. Instead of grieving, we be hurt because we don't think about reality. Right? We don't come to grips and terms with reality. We are seasonal. When I tell you that thing hurt me, it hurts. But it's life and it's reality. And that's why some people can't shake death. They can't shake death. And it's painful because we don't think folks are seasonal. Even in our parents. See, God gave me an understanding of death early at an early age. And although he gave me an understanding, we still think we are exempt. We think we are exempt for some reason. We see death all around us, but we think we exempt. And that's why some people have a hard time with death, because, to be honest, some of us make our family members idols. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. We make our loved ones idols. And it be so hard because it be so hard in their absence, because my rag. We've made them idols. Excuse me. We've made them idols, and it'd be hard to move on. It'd be hard to move on. Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And God told us we would grieve. There would be seasons. And we don't be prepared. We don't be prepared. We don't. He told us there'll be seasons of grief. We're supposed to grieve our loved ones. We're not supposed to stay stuck in grief where it causes us to be depressed. We can't move on. We can't eat. We can't sleep. That's not healthy. That's not healthy. But we have to learn that people are seasonal. And see, I like I said before, I be trying to keep everybody around. I do. I try to keep good. I try to keep the good-hearted people. When you've been burned so many times, when you've been burnt, right? When you've been burnt and mistreated, and then you finally find and when you finally find good-hearted people, like people's spirit just connect with yours, you want to keep them around. But they're seasonal. They're seasonal. They're seasons in your life. That's why when you was in elementary, you had your elementary school friends that you loved. Then when you got to middle school, you had your middle school friends. Then when you got to high school, you had your high school friends, and then when you got to college. Then when you got to college, you got your college friends. Then you had your favorite cousins that you grew up with. Like, all these different changes bring about, change. All these different seasons bring about change. Exactly, we do. Drea's heart, we do. And that's what we don't do. We don't allow ourselves to go through the process. It's supposed to be a process. Not a period. You don't supposed to stop there. It's supposed to be a process. And eventually it gets better. It's hard. Death is hard. I'm not going to sit here and say that I could take it. No, death is hard. It was one season in my life, what it was, from 2000 and COVID, 2020. Every 4 months, I was losing a close relative, like people who I was close to. Every 4 months, it was like every quarter, every 3 months, somebody was leaving this earth. First started out my cousin James. Cousin James was like an uncle. When you have an older cousin that seems, that's older, like he could be an uncle. He passed away. It was first my cousin James. And then it was my cousin James on my dad's side. Then it was my cousin Chubb. Then it was my auntie, my aunt, Annie Mae. Then it was my sister. Then it was my older aunt. It was like back to back. And I don't think I had time to grieve. Oh, yes, Keisha. It was like back to back. And these people, these were people that were close in my, close relatives. And it was back to back, back to back. And I'm like, Lord, I don't have time to grieve. I was just so tired of going to funerals. Then they kept happening. Cousins. And I'm like, I can't go to any more funerals. I never, I never had a chance to grieve. Then things start happening after that. Like, sometimes if you don't slow down and pay attention, you will let life get the best of you. If you don't slow down and get by yourself, you would let life get the best of you. You would, because life happens, and if you don't slow down, death was happening so much around me, I couldn't even keep up. I didn't even have a chance to cry. I didn't even have a chance to cry. It was happening so much. I didn't have a chance to grieve. I finally grieved all I was going through later, when I had to grieve a whole different season of my life. Look, all the grief just come tumbling, just came crashing down. You don't, you got to give yourself time to grieve. Don't try to fill the space up with people and things and doing things. Yes, Drea. And I was just going because, for some reason, we got to seem like we're strong and we got it together. No, it's okay to grieve. It's okay to grieve. One thing I love about me, and I've been like this, and this is not to say you got to come online and put people all in your business. You don't have to do that. What I'm saying is, one thing I loved about me is I had nothing to hide, nothing to protect, and nothing to defend. When you get into a season to where you know who you are and you look at your process for what it is. You look at your process for what it is. You look at the season for what it is. When I learned to just go through the seasons and to be okay with the seasons, I was okay. I was all right. I was all right from there. Because, see, people try to make the grieving season look good. They try to make their season of lack look like a season of plenty. They try to make their season of mourning look like it's a season of joy. No, you go through the season, baby. And it's okay. Exactly. We got to let it out. You hope so, yes. And that's what we try to do. We try to put on this front and facade for people to make it seem like we just got it all together. And sometimes people put that projection on you. Listen, let's tell the truth, shame the devil, because you carry yourself a certain way, because you have standards, because you stand for something. People will project, they'll put their projections on you that you think you all of that. You don't think you all of that. As they say, as they think you think. But because you carry yourself, you have standards, you don't deal with foolishness, you don't want to tolerate foolishness. And they think she thinks she better than somebody. Tell the truth. Let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth, shame the devil. And the only thing you trying to do is live and do what's right. Raise your family, raise them the best you know how, prepare them for this world, and that's all you trying to do. Teach them how to have an abundant mindset, teaching them to stand up for themselves and have boundaries. That's all you're trying to teach them. You're not trying to teach them to think they're better than anyone, but to be confident in themselves. Oh, you think you better than somebody. And they'll project all that on you. And you over there just going through your seasons. Look, you over there going through your seasons, just trying to keep your head above water. Trying to stand on the faith you say you have. Trying to believe in the God you say you believe in. But that's what I wanted to come talk to y'all about. Look, I got emotional on y'all. I ain't going to apologize for it. That's just human nature, just human emotion. But that's what I want to come talk to y'all about. Just don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Take one day at a time. You'll be surprised what people are going through. The people who look like they got it together, you'll be surprised. The HE double hockey stick they're going through. You will be surprised that the ones who come online to encourage you, you will be surprised what they're going through. You'll be surprised what the encourager and the motivator. You'll be surprised what they're going through. Half of them folks be going through straight HE double hockey stick, but they still will come online and try to encourage somebody. They'll still come online and try to encourage you. You won't even know it. You won't even feel the weight. Because, you know, some of y'all come online. Some people come online, you can feel the weight that they have going on. I know I can. I'll be like, let me scroll on. Let me just scroll on to the next video. Because they got too much going on. They don't even bring the burden to their platform. Because they know how to release it. Good morning, living my best life. They know how to release it. But I'm going to go and take me a good old walk. What do you guys got planned this morning? What do you guys got planned this morning? I'm going to get ready to walk. Look, I love being out in nature. I don't know about you all, but I love being out in nature. Oh, that's what I'm going to do, Keisha. I'm going to go, girl. Listen, I'm going to go walk. I brought me some little 10-pound dumbbells, the little 10-pound, weights. I'm trying to get my arms stronger. I bought me some 10-pound weights, and I'm going to go, I bought some from Target when it was Saturday instead of going to the gym where I live. Because I just like being at home. Because I don't do a whole lot. So, walking is good for me. Walking and, strengthening. I do it for strengthening my upper body. So that's why I bought the weights. Yeah, I love to work out. It does. When I tell you, if you guys are going through any type of depression, if you're going through any type of depression, or just get out and go walk. Get out and do some movements in your body. It would change your mood. It would change your mood. I did, Keisha. I started with 5 pounds. I don't graduate it, girl. Look, listen, I started with 3. Then I moved to 5. And then now I'm at 10. Yep. I ease into that. Look, and I'm going to stay at 10 now. I'm not trying to go all up to be, I'm not trying to do all the extra. Just try to keep my body moving. Yeah, just try to keep my body moving. But if you are going through any type of depression or stress, go take a walk. Take a walk. Yep, take a little 30-minute walk. Take time. You got to take time to take care of your body. You got to take time out to do things that's going to keep you at top tier, health and shape. Nature is healing, Dolores. Girl, I love being in nature. I love walking in my little area. I love it. Yep. If the preserve wasn't so far, I would go to the preserve. We got a nice little preserve where I live. It's so beautiful. They got like these bridges, and they got this tower you can climb. It's real nice. Yep. You see people passing. I see lizards and squirrels and all type of things out there. Snakes, birds, all these different little blue jays and canaries and woodpeckers. Yeah, it's so beautiful. You see it's just beautiful. I just don't want to drive that far. It's about 15 minutes away. So by the time I drive there and come back, I could have walked my 2-mile walk and came home and did my arm exercise. And also, yeah, listen, I don't know if it's me, because someone tell me if it's you too. Because this is not something I'm doing on my own. I just feel in my spirit, even to try to eat better, like try to put more nutritious foods in me. Like, has that been anyone? Like, ever since 2020, I've been having like this unction. Like, it's like somebody's taking my hand and making me do what I'm telling y'all. Has anyone else experienced that? And I'm not just saying this to act as because if I love my junk food. Listen, I used to. I'm gonna tell you, I love sweets and I love junk. But as of lately, it's like I've been pushed away from that. Has anyone else? It's like, it's not something I've decided to do. It's like I've been forced to. It's like, it's kind of, I won't say strange because I know it's God's doing, but it's like I don't desire like the foods I once desired. And it's been going on a while. Even if I eat something and I'm like, you know what, I don't want to go home and cook. I want to go home and fix. And I eat something that, that's not healthy, say pizza or something, I automatically feel yucky. Like I feel disgusted or my head will hurt or something. So I don't know if it's just me. I just wanted to, see if anybody else experienced that. Yeah, and it's okay too, Jacqueline. Yes, it's okay to have your little yes, it's almost like, you know, it's almost like my body's going through like a purification. Like, instead of having like a meal, because I'm Southern, I used to cook. Let me tell y'all, I used to cook like my grandmother. I used to cook my fried pork chops, which I don't eat pork anymore. I used to cook my neck bones and green beans and macaroni. I used to cook all the Southern, how I was brought up cooking. I was raised and brought up cooking, my fried chicken and fried pork chops and smothered pork chops. And I used to cook all that type of stuff. I did. And I kind of veered away from it. I veered away from fried foods a lot. I still ate them, but not as much. It was back in probably 2007. I think it was about 2006. I went to like baking a lot more. If I did have something fried, it would be fast food or something. I didn't cook it in the house anymore. But yeah, I veered up about 2006. I didn't cook it myself in my house. But if I, had some, I would buy it. And I didn't, buy, fried Popeyes a lot. I used to buy it, but it wasn't like an everyday thing like how I was brought up. Fried chicken, fried pork chop, fried this, fried that, fried gizzards, fried everything. Oh, yes. And you know what? That's true, Jacqueline, because I used to love yogurt. When I was young, I used to love me some yogurt, but I don't like yogurt now. I don't like yogurt like that. I don't even like yogurt. I used to love yogurt and granolas. But yep, it's just like I want more vegetables. Like now, I can just eat a baked sweet potato and grill me some chicken, a chicken breast with some spinach, sauteed onions, avocado. I can eat that. That's dinner. Like, How I was brought up, you didn't have dinner without rice and a vegetable and some gravy and some bread. Listen, I was brought up, you're going to have you some rice, a vegetable, and some bread. Whether it's biscuit, cornbread, or something, of course you're going to have your meat. But that's not dinner. Now, dinner was a full course, heavyweight meal. Some gravy. Now, sometimes my dinner is just... Sometimes my dinner is... Oh, yes, I've tried chobani. My daughter loves that. I just can't eat any of it. But yeah, what else? What else we used to eat? I used to love. I used to love them neck bones. Look, I used to love myself some smoked neck bones and green beans. Mm-mm-mm. And some potatoes. Yep, smoked, that would be my favorite. That would be my go-to. The smoked neck bones, some green beans. And cornbread. You be stuffed. You be sitting there stuffed, wanting to take a nap. But yeah, my diet changed. Yeah, it changed. And I've noticed too, when I stopped eating like a lot of those heavy foods, like how I was raised on, I've noticed when I stopped eating a lot of that, it's like my mind, it's like I gained more clarity. I didn't feel weighted down, you know? I didn't feel weighted down. Yep, I didn't feel weighted down. Exactly, D. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna start. That's what I start doing too. Freeze a lot of the, vegetables and stuff. I would like to grow my own food. That's been a desire of mine. I wanted to, move and just find me a little piece of property so I can grow my own vegetables, own fruits, have me some avocado trees, some mango trees, have my own food on my land, peppers. I love beets. Any of you love beets? Or is it just me? I love beets. Hi, Tyrinia. Yep, I love beets. I love me some beets. I can eat those baked. I can eat them raw. I can eat them juiced. And one thing I couldn't stand when I was a child, but I love now? I hated onions. I hated onions when I was younger. Oh, I hated me some onions. Now, that's all you'll find in my house. Onions. I got red onions, white onions, yellow onions, green onions. I love onions. I love onions. But I love me some beets. Mm-hmm. I love me some beets. Oh, yeah, them neck bones, Jacqueline, girl. Them neck bones used to be off the chain. Mm-mm-mm. I was going to look into that too, D. I was going to look into that. Because where I live now is much smaller than my place I had before. It's way much smaller. and I don't have the yard that I used to have before. So I have to do something. I do have a patio on the back. I do have a my plant that I have here. I think it's called the plant of life, or I want to say, what is it called? The tree of life. I want to say it's called the tree of life. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. Somebody knows. I think it's called the tree of life. Someone gave it to me. One of like this lady I call my mom from church. She gave it to me. She gave me that with an aloe plant, and I brought the plant with me when I moved. I brought the plant with me, and that thing has grown. It's growing big, like Jack and the Beanstalk. Yep, Jack and the Beanstalk. But that's what I was thinking too. I've been saving my lemon seeds too. I love lemon. My lemon and lime. I've been saving my seeds, my avocado seeds. I've been saving those. I need to find how to store them so they won't go bad. And my watermelon seeds. I love me some watermelon. Yeah. So I've been trying to save my seeds instead of throwing them away, Because you never know. Look, you never know. Keep them seeds, y'all. Look, with the way things going on, you never know. I think I done rubbed something in my eye. Some lotion off my hand. But yeah, I love beets. I used to hate onions. I love peppers too, like bell peppers, red peppers. Oh, you don't like beets, Jacqueline? Why? I could just eat beets by themselves. I can cut them beets up. Girl, I can cut them up, put a little oil, a little pepper, a little salt, a little, Himalayan salt, and put some, girl, a little feta cheese on there. I could eat them just like that. And the beet leaves, the leaves of the beets, they're good too. You clean them up and saute them. Even the roots, all parts of the beet is good. That little stem part, take it and saute it in there with the, I haven't really cooked asparagus. I'll eat it, but I haven't cooked asparagus on my own yet. I need to try it. I haven't cooked that. That's one thing I haven't cooked yet on my own. Like I can't stand my eyelash grow and start poking me in the eye. But hold on, you all. I'm gonna try some asparagus, Jacqueline. Oh, excuse me, y'all. I'm gonna rub some in my. Yeah, I'm gonna try asparagus. Put on these glasses. I don't rub my eye. Got them all red up. But I'm gonna try some asparagus. I never cooked that on my own. I want to grow because where I used to grow up, where I grew up, my grandmother used to have her own like collard greens and mustard greens in the yard. The older folks back then, that's why they lived longer too. They had their own food, like mustard greens, and we had what my grandmother had. She had mustard greens and collard greens in her yard. Yep, mustard green, collard greens, and some little herbs and spices. But I sure would like to grow me some collard greens. I sure would. Some collard greens and mustard greens. Yep. I would love to grow that in my yard. I would love to have me some collard greens in my yard, mustard greens, some beets, lemons, limes, avocados, some green onions, some tomatoes. I just want it all. A lot of fruits and vegetables. A banana tree. I don't know about the banana tree. Banana tree be keeping too much snakes. I remember my friends having a banana tree. They always had snakes in look, they always had snakes in the trees. Them snakes stayed in the banana trees. But that's what I want to come talk to y'all about. Listen, we'll have to do this live again before I go to talking about food and stuff. You know, I go to talking about one thing and we end up all on another area. Y'all see this line in the window from the sun? It's like a sword, like a line in the wind, you know, veering in the window. But what texture, Jacqueline? Which one you don't like? The texture of what? I love me some spinach too. Y'all like spinach? I love spinach. I could just eat spinach sauteed with some onions and some garlic and just eat it just like that. A little salt and pepper, a little seasoning. Let me go. I'm gonna do my walk so I can get back home and take care of some business. So I'll talk to you all later. Jacqueline, I was trying to see what you were talking about, the texture, before I left. Oh, it's good grilled or in the oven. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to go to Aldi and buy some because, you know, Aldi always have asparagus. I'm going to go buy some asparagus and clean it and, yeah. What do you oil it or you put butter? And I can say I feel better, you all. You know, now that I'm eating a little more healthier, I can say I'm feeling better, even in my emotions and my mood. Before I go, let me just say this. I feel a whole lot better. Like, especially with the sugar. I had cut back on a lot of sugar. Because, you know, everything we have, they got sugar in it. Like, everything. Everything we got. Just about everything. It's kind of hard to avoid unless you just go organic, just with fruits and vegetables and water only. It's kind of hard to avoid. But I can say I've been a lot more energetic. I see a decrease. I see that I'm losing weight. I see a decrease in my weight, even in my stomach, gut, my health, my gut health. Oh, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna let you know, Jacqueline. I'm sure I'm gonna try it. Yes. I bought this garlic oil the other day. It was like garlic oil. And I never heard of it. I said, let me try it out. So maybe I'll use that. Came in a little can. It came in a little can. It was garlic oil. I said, maybe I'll use that to cook with. I'll try to roll some asparagus around in that. Jacqueline, girl, put some salt and pepper and see. And it is hard. You know, it is hard to stop, to break a habit that you've been doing forever. Like you've been eating a certain way for all your life. It is hard to break that. It is. And I'm not talking about vegan, because, you know, vegan is not really, like some of the foods for vegan is processed too. I'm talking about just eating like vegetables and, you know, cooking organic foods. I'm not talking about processed or boxed foods or anything like that. I'm talking about organic stuff. Just going to bake a potato or your organic foods straight from, you know, just from the tree, from the plant. Oh, turnip. Ooh, Jacqueline, girl, I haven't had turnip greens in so long. Oh, that bring back memories, especially this time of the year. My grandmother used to love cooking turnip greens. I used to love the mustard greens. And the only reason I used to love mustard greens because my grandmother used to cook crackling bread with the mustard greens. And we didn't use a fork. We went back to the motherland using these fingers, using these here, using these. And you mush the collard greens and the mustard greens together. Girl, I mean, not the collard greens, the mustard greens and the crackling bread. Child, oh my goodness. I remember. And then she used to make this, I don't know what it was. It used to be this pepper sauce they used to make. It used to be this pepper sauce. It used to be in a little bottle, and it was like banana peppers and something else, but they used to put it on the, I remember, they used to put it on the collard green. Not just hot sauce. They used to put on, ooh, now that was good. I don't know what it is. Some of the older people here probably could tell me what it is, but I just remember it had a little yellow top on it. I don't know what it was called. It had a little yellow top, and you put the little juice or whatever, the juice on the green. Ooh, talk about something was good. Woo. I'm getting hungry too. Jacqueline, that's, yeah. The turnip greens, I used to like the turnip greens. I used to like all the collard greens. Yes, I never used it, Tahisha. That's my first time. I bought it from a Bell's outlet. You know, the little outlets like Bell's, Marshalls. I like going to the back to their seasonings. They have good seasonings. I bought some garlic powder. Then I saw that garlic oil, and I said, you know what? Let me try this. I said, let me try this. So I bought it, and I'm gonna try it on my asparagus. Yep. I tried a little bit of it because I had cooked some fish yesterday. So I tried a little bit of it on the fish that I cooked. And then I bought this other, it's like a seasoning blend with like dried carrots, peppers, onions, and garlic. And I bought that from the store, from Bell's too, the outlet. But they have some good seasons. I don't know if you all shop in Bell's or Ross or any of those, TJ Maxx. Go to the little area, that food area. They have some good seasonings back there. I be trying to watch the sodium too, because everything got sodium. So I try not to get it with too much sodium in there. But I love the seasonings. Listen. Food got to be seasoned. Well seasoned. Well seasoned and well done. Hello. Is that Bakey from Croatia? I would love to visit Croatia. That's one of the places. I had a coworker that was from Croatia, and I didn't know how beautiful it was. I went online, and I said, that's one of the places I want to visit. I would love to travel to Croatia. I didn't know how beautiful it was. She was like, I'm from a small little place called Croatia. She was like, look it up. Yeah, she told me yes. She told me. And she was so nice too. I said, I would love to go there. Yep, so that's on my bucket list. Yep, that's on my bucket list, to visit Croatia. I just need to be wealthy. Y'all feel me? Y'all can relate. I just want to be wealthy. Look, I just want to be wealthy. I just want to travel. I just want to just be wealthy and just travel. Just want to visit. I would just want to country hop, country hop. Just hop and go to different countries, knowing the money would be there. That's all. I want to be debt free and just travel. Look, country hop, try all these good foods in these different countries. because I'm sure the foods are much healthier than our, food here in the U.S. Just try different foods and desserts and just island hop, country hop. Yeah, them old folks knew how to cook back then, Jacqueline. Yeah, I thank my grandmother for teaching me. She taught me how to cook. One thing, it was hard for me to cook, but I finally got it. Oh, listen, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Let me say this and go, because we'll be on forever. It was one thing that it was so hard for me to cook. I don't know how many pots of rice, that white long grain rice. I'm not talking about the parboiled. I don't know how many pots of rice I don't burned up or scorched or scotched or whatever they used to call it to try to get a good, perfect pot of rice. I burned so many pots of rices. I burned so many. But I finally got it. I finally got what I was doing wrong. And what I was doing wrong was I was putting my rice in my pot before I started letting my water boil. And then I used to put too much water and my rice would always be mushy. And then I would try to let it dry out. Then I end up burning it. Oh, but I learned. I don't give up easy. Oh, I learned how to cook that rice. Now I can cook with my eyes closed. I don't, listen, like they say, I don't stop until the ancestors tell me. Now, I don't believe in ancestor worship now. But like when I get that little voice where it say stop, I know how to measure. I know how to season without measuring. I know how to cook it without the measurement. Like I was like, how did my grandma do that? Oh, just put a little bit of this, a little bit of that. No, I need to know how many cups so I can stop burning this rice. So I finally got it. I finally got it. Yep, I know how to cook my good old rice. But now I don't eat rice that much. I don't cook it as much as I used to. The rice I do cook that I love the basmati rice. I think it's basmati. Is it basmati? That's the name of it? I love that rice. That, and I used to like the other one. What was the other rice called? Jasmine rice. Yeah, jasmine. I love those two rices. I love that. I got the big old bag of basmati rice. I like the taste of it. You can eat it by itself. You don't even have to season it. Oh, okay. I need to try it out. Oh, yes, it sure does. You're right, Jacqueline. I went there too. I like to get my teas from there. My teas, my herbal teas, I like to get those from Home Goods, Jacqueline. I'm a tea person. Anybody else a tea person? I love my different teas. Matter of fact, I need to go drink me a cup before I go walking. Usually I get up and have me a cup almost every morning. But since I was home, my son was like, you drop me off to school. He wanted me to drop him off. And I said, yeah, I dropped him off. That'll give us time to spend together. And then, so I had to get myself up ready to drop him off because usually he'll catch the bus. Oh yeah, they started us off young. That's what I tell my children. Like sometimes it's a good and bad thing because you got to know how to take care of yourself and cook for yourself. You're not going to have someone there to do it for you. And it depends, I guess it depends on the times. Because, when I grew up kind of fast. I grew up quick. And I didn't want my children to grow up quick. Not saying that teaching them how to cook is making them grow up fast, no. But we had to take on a lot more responsibilities. At one point, let me tell y'all something. I didn't want to have kids. I got 4. But there was one point in my life I didn't want children because my grandmother used to have us babysitting my cousin's children. And them children were bad. They were bad. I'm like, if I got to have kids and they like this, I don't want no children. So for a long time, I was like, I didn't want any kids. I don't want to have my own children. Although I did, but I changed my mind um after babysitting my cousin's kids. I'm like, if my kids, I don't want kids to be like this. Jacqueline, girl, I wouldn't mind being your traveling buddy, but I got to get my money up. Listen, I got to get my bag up, Jacqueline. But I know God's gonna make a way. I'll be able to travel with you. And you know, you don't always have to have money. People don't realize you don't always have to have a whole lot of money to do things if you just plan. If you just plan. Because I love to travel. I like to travel and have fun. I like to travel with people who don't like to who like to take risk and try new things. Me too, Jacqueline. I was thinking about doing a road trip, renting a car, and just doing a road trip across the U.S. to the tourist areas, not in them backwoods areas. I'm talking about in the tourist areas, not in the backwoods part now. Oh, I love ginger too. Maybe I'll try that. I never had ginger by itself. I always did the ginger with lemon. I always do ginger, lemon, and honey. Like when I first, wake up. I used to just do lemon and honey and warm water when I wake up. Me too. I'm just adventurous like that. I've always been like that. I was one of them children. Let me tell you, I was one of them children. That's when I knew I was different. Listen, I was one of them children that would go outside when I was little and just be playing in the yard, digging up earthworms and stuff, and just listen. I was one of them children that just would go outside and be digging up earthworms and climbing trees and looking at the bugs and the ants go up the tree, and follow the ants to see what. Listen, y'all don't judge me. Don't talk about me now. Listen, I was one of those kids. I was one of those kids that would just be in the yard all day, digging holes and just trying to discover, like where this root going, and I was one of them kids. I was one of those. Yeah, I was one of those. I was one of those kids that would just sit on a tower and just look up at the sky and look at all the different shapes and that looks like a dog, that looks like a rabbit, that looks like I was one of them kids. I was very unique. I was very unique. Yeah, I was one of them. My daughters always say I was a hybrid child because I used to hang with the nerdy kids, the real smart kids, but I also used to hang with like the popular kids too. It's just like I always was able just to fit in. Yeah, I was one of them kids that just try stuff with no, children don't be thinking like the harm that can be caused, right? The harm that could be caused, one of them kids that'll just do something, like to try it. Only to learn that, listen, I don't need to be trying that. I can't try that. I was one of them kids. I used to climb trees. I used to climb like the real tall trees. They used to be called berry trees. I don't know if you all grew up in Florida here. We used to have these big old trees that had these big fat purple berries on there. I don't know the name of them. We used to say berries, but they were real, they were fat and purple on the end. They were purple on the outside and purple on the inside with some pink. And if you eat them long enough, look at the length. If you eat them long enough, it turns your lip white. I don't know if you guys remember those. I don't know what the names were. They were not the Chinese plums. They were the purple ones. And I remember we used to climb that tree, and I used to climb like scooch out on the limb just to shake the tree so the berries could fall. Or just go get berries and put them in our shirts and stuff, in my shirt, and carry them down. I did some dangerous stuff when I was a child. I did some dangerous stuff. But I was fearless. You ever notice how fearless you were when you were a child? You just be fearless. You don't have any fear. And then you become an adult, you have all these fears. Where all these fears come from? I was fear. When I tell you I was fearless. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I was fearless. And then, we become adults, and you just have all these fears all of a sudden. Fear to say something, fear to do this, it's like, oh, you do? Black tea I like, but I have to have the black tea with honey. I tried to do it by itself. I couldn't do it by itself. I got to have a little honey in there. Yeah, I used to swim in canals. We used to have a little canal in our, where I lived with my grandmother. Knowing darn well I didn't have any business being back there in that canal. Back there in canal, they got snakes and turtles and probably alligators. We back there. I'm back there with the boys, being a tomboy, back there in the canal. My grandmother didn't know nothing. I could have drowned back there or something because I didn't know how to swim. You know how deep that canal was. Just back there, just fearless. Like, I think about some of the stuff. I'm like, girl, you. I did some fearless stuff. When I tell you some fearless stuff. But I enjoyed talking to you all. Y'all know I come on here, supposed to been encouraging you and telling y'all about my whole life story and my childhood. Look, but I'm sure some people could relate. I just like to keep it relatable. That's all. Keep it relatable. It doesn't always have to be professional and straight to the point. I'm just a relatable person anyways. That's just my nature. My nature is relatable. I've had people tell me, it seems like I knew you forever. It's not that they have known me, it's just that I'm relatable. I connect on a spiritual level and a soul level. I connect to a person. I don't connect to a title. I don't connect to wealth. I don't connect to the money they have. I don't connect to any of that. I don't connect to any of that. I connect to the person. I connect to people. And that's a gift I have. That's a gift I have. And I have to embrace it, and I try to cultivate it more. Because that's just who I am. Sometimes you can't run from the gift you have, right? You can't run from it. Sometimes you got to embrace it. And I think a lot of you all are running from gifts that God gave you. And you got to just embrace it and accept the gift that's in you. A gift is something that is given without reason. You don't need a reason to be gifted. That's a talent that came, you were wired with that. You were wired with that gift. So embrace it. Embrace it. Cultivate it. Don't run from it. Even some of you all are so spiritual. Some of you think you're crazy because it's almost like you're psychic. And I don't want to say that word, but you can hear things. You can see things that other people can't see. And that's just a God-given gift. That's a prophetic gift. You're not crazy. That's why I used to say most of the people who are in psych wards are gifted people spiritually. But the world has not the world hasn't taught these people that those gifts are from God and how to use them, so they think they're crazy. They think, it's not that they're hearing voices. They can hear folks. They can hear what people. I don't know if you guys remember that movie Powder. I think that's the movie. It was Powder. I want to say it was the movie Powder. Where this boy, he had like telepathy. He had this, from what I can remember, he had this power where he can hear people. He can hear people talking about him and saying how crazy he was. He had this special gift. And some of you all are like that. Y'all got this special gift. Y'all can hear people. Y'all know what they're thinking, know what they're saying. And I'm not talking about no Cleo type powers. I'm not talking about Cleo. I'm talking about real prophetic gifts where you know things, but you don't want to believe it. But it's just a gift. Know things. I know for me, when I was younger, even now, for me, I can pick up on when people have a lustful spirit. Like if I'm close by people, and I can pick up when people have a lustful spirit, a perverted spirit. I can always feel that. For real, Jacqueline, girl, I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Look. I enjoyed being a daredevil. I enjoyed just being out in nature. I remember I used to catch lizards, right? Me and my cousin. Me and my boy cousin. We're about the same age. We used to catch lizards. And we used to put them in jars. And my grandmother lied to us and told us if we keep catching these lizards, our fingers, you're a child, you innocent, you believe anything your parents tell you, grandparents tell you. Listen. And then she told us if we catching lizards, our fingers was going to turn into lizards. So I'm a little kid and I don't have a dream that I'm sitting there, my finger turn into a lizard. I stopped catching them lizards. Listen, I stopped catching them lizards. I sure did. I didn't catch another lizard since. And to this day, she put that fear in me of them lizards. Come to think of it, because I used to catch lizards. I wasn't afraid. Then I developed this fear of lizards all of a sudden. I'm like, well, I'm afraid of lizards. I used to catch lizards. But now if they, get caught, if they come in my house, I have to put on a glove or get a rag. I won't catch them bare hands. But sometimes them lizards be moving too quick. I don't like the wiggly. I don't like the wiggle in my hands, But my grandmother lied to us, told us our hands going to turn into a lizard. And when you're a child, you believe anything. Anything somebody tell you. Our parents just lied to us about, grandparents lied to us about anything. And we believed it, Yeah, we believed. I stopped catching them lizards because we used to put them in the jars and stuff. And they used to change colors, right? Child, I stopped catching them lizards. I surely did. I remember one time I got stung in the ear. A bee stung me in my ear. I was out hanging out clothes. We had clotheslines back then. For y'all youngins that don't know about that. Which I'm 80, so I'm in between. So we had clotheslines, and I'm out there hanging out the clothes. And these bees were back there. Because them bees, they built their nest back there on the clothesline. So I'm back there fighting the bees and don't swung at one of the bees. And that bee came and hit me right in my ear. Zip. The ear was fat, looked like the Nutty Professor. Listen, the ear was like the Nutty Professor. I'm like, this ear was big. I mean, that ear was big for a couple of days. You hear me? That ear was like... That ear was big. I stopped bothering them bees. I didn't go out there no more. Look, I didn't bother them bees anymore. Mm-mm. Look, I hung them clothes on one side of the line. Oh, these clothes gonna get dry right on this side. I'm not going on that side. It only take me one time to learn my lesson. But I thought that was so funny. I dropped that basket and them clothespins and halt. I dropped the basket and them clothespins and I left and I went in the house crying to my grandmother, holding my ear. Mm-hmm. Them good old memories though. And then, have you ever thought when you were a child you had no cares in the world? It's like you didn't care. You didn't have any cares. Like you was just living and existing, enjoying life. And when I was growing up, we used to eat, we had a lot of fruit trees, like in the area where I live. People had guava trees, mango trees, orange trees, lemon trees, star fruit. They had all these different trees, the little cherries and berries. And I stayed out all day in these folks' yard getting their stuff. In their yard, eating mangoes and guavas, the little guavas, star fruit, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, let me go. I said that 10 times ago. Let me go. But y'all be blessed. Let me get out of here. I can sit here and talk to y'all all day. Y'all know that already. Y'all know that I'm a little motor mouth. So I'll talk to y'all later. I try to come back. And really deliver these messages because I have been getting a lot. It's just that I haven't been having time, especially with working and, my son, because there was a period of time where I wasn't working. So I was able to bring them back to back. But now, we have work. That's part of it. I would love to one day have my own functioning business to where I could be self-employed and then go from self-employed to being an entrepreneur. I don't want to be in the business. I just want somebody else to run it. Because I realized when I wasn't working that time, you have more time. You just have more time to do the things you want to do. You can get up and command your day, which you still can get up and do now, but like you can get up and do the things you want to do. You have the energy and time to prepare healthy meals and spend time with your children. Like, I'm not going to say that right now. Let's come back and talk about that later. But you all be blessed, okay? Be blessed. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.